feeling that they blew their chance against the French side. As we see Luke Pearce, who's in charge of operations this afternoon. So yeah, business to attend to for Bath, very much. Their line-out complete in town. Lots of quality, lots of history in the air, lots to look forward to. As the ball is taken in from the first kick-off by Max Clark.
Use it!
Spencer to the air. We're going to see a lot of that today. It is dry at the moment. It's been exceptionally wet, as everywhere.
Okay, Bristol! Dave.
First situation defused by Max Malins, playing out of position on the wing today, but very much a case, you feel, of getting all your best players on the park. Here's Sheedy, dribbled it through beautifully. What a chase that was from Pietau. The offload to Bowie, was that forwards? Sinclair storming forwards. Uren swinging it wide, huge miss pass. Morahan's out there. Still a question mark in my mind over the legality of that offload, but my, what a start this is from the Bears. Taken up by Atwood, and Bath having to put shoulders to the wheel early on. Uren, Hughes the dummy runner. Sheedy releasing Earl, who's grappled to the floor by Redpath, who did really well. Uren, Luatua. Atwood poised, need to suck in one or two more defenders close to the rock, potentially leaving some space. We've got Josh Bayliss, who's been singled out as being offside.
Yeah, what a start from Bristol Bears. That one little break, all orchestrated by Callum Sheedy at fly half. Lovely little kick in behind, just bounced up perfectly, didn't it? And Bristol Bears.
About the conditions, the weather, but Bristol have come to play. Sinclair transfers it, but it's gone forwards. A little knock-on in the process. And the clinical finish, not quite there, but a promising start, certainly.
Yeah, just got their lifting a little bit wrong there. Didn't.
Horrible position this for Bath. And they're under pressure. Bristol got a proper nudge on. Falatau with plenty to do. Uren's in his way. He's being bundled backwards. And Bath have won the penalty.
It's a silly penalty. Falatau is 1 yard.
Yeah, he'd be mightily relieved, Falatau, because he was under all sorts of pressure. They had to go and pick the ball up against the grain and the ball back.
Been claimed ultimately by Bath, and they're bringing in Joan Schoeman, starting at loose head again for Bath in the absence of Beno Urbano, still suspended. Spencer testing out Morahan, claims it well, but he's hit, driven to the ground by Will Muir. Sheedy, Pietau, Earl juggling with it. Mandrandra looked to pick and go, he's gone forwards, and away goes Redpath. Schoeman can't hang on to it.
Then not forward.
It is slippery.
Yeah, from the base. Nathan Hughes at 18, 19 stone. Pietau with his left foot to the left. You've got Sheedy to the right. Semi Randrandra. Carl Sinclair up front.
No.
I mean,
No.
as a defender,
You need to wait for the ball.
Line out secure by Bristol. Here's Pietau, and Randrandra has it. No, it's gone forwards. A little bit of a mix-up in the midfield.
Varnish Bath, knock on.
Once more, Bath off the hook. Here's Max Clark. They've been served notice, that's for sure.
Advantage now over, Ben.
Going to need to be
Okay, away 8.
very alert if they can turn this defensive position into something approaching safety, at least. I think they'll take that right now after the opening 9 minutes or so.
Okay, use it.
Yeah, it's just been Bears all the way, hasn't it? But it's just been that lack of accuracy with the key passes that have let Bath off the hook as Reece Priestland clears his lines.
great kick.
Big booming kick from Priestland. It's taken though early, and Malins is striding forwards. Pietau. Uren, quick ball to work with. Hughes, driven to the ground by Stook. Jan Thomas. Sheedy, peers out. Miles Reid with the tackle. Again, speed of ball. Really lively as is. Pietau couldn't quite get that away. It's gone forwards from Malins. And Bath once more.
Yeah, just a knock on, but what a skill there. You know, we've been going 10 minutes. It's been all one-way traffic.
I thought that was just me getting up the stairs. They were still recovering now.
They're continuing the motion. Falatau looking to create a little bit of space. Here's Will Stewart.
Bath!
And a semblance of calm descends over Bath with Spencer on the ball on the 10-metre line. It's gone backwards and ended up with Tom Dunn. And there's Stook in a little bit of space. Drops the shoulder into Sheedy. Again, turnover ball. Morahan on the break. Bears will threaten or drop ball in front of Pietau.
Oh,
hacked forwards. Bath are onto it. And it's Anthony Watson who has stolen through.
Johnny, I haven't got a clear knock on there, but
We're going to need another look at this.
I don't get rugby sometimes. There's been so much craft and creativity.
It was through the hands of Charles Pietau.
It's here, just as he goes to gather it.
Is that clear and obvious?
we can play that through, please, to finish
we'll
off.
Play that through for
There
you.
is a knock on to finish, because there isn't at the moment.
Okay, I'll show it to you again now.
Thanks, mate. So the on-field was try.
Very nicely weighted kick as well from Redpath.
The
There's the explanation to Stephen Luatua, and he'll be shaking his head, just like an awful lot of people who've been watching the first 11 and a half minutes of this match. Extraordinary to tell you, but Bath lead Bristol by 5 points to 0, despite being absolutely pummeled in the opening 10 minutes. They've struck from nowhere.
Well, we did say the dam was breaking, or about to break.
Funnily enough, that's their first visit to the 22.
Yeah, first time they've been anywhere near it. Here's Spencer. It's going to slide on by, but they're 5 points up, 12 minutes gone, having had a Bristol try ruled out, and Anthony Watson celebrating his Lions call-up with a poacher's effort.
He's in the right place at the right time. They rely on to deliver.
Clark for Bath. Done. Hit by Dave Atwood, former Bath man, of course, in many years standing.
Wingers on side here.
Spencer. In trots Pietau. Well held by Bayliss. He did really well. Not only stopped him in his tracks, he withheld the flow, and there's the intercept, and Reece Priestland's away. What's going on at the wreck? Extraordinary stuff. Couldn't make it up, really. 10 points up. Conversion to come. Who'd have thought it?
Well, it's a great read, isn't it, from Reece Priestland? I was about to say, I wondered if Bath could get a little bit more pressure on the second receiver, and as Thomas goes out the back door, Bath replacement.
It's a great start.
He'll just slot the two.
But perhaps for Bristol, not Bath, but fair play to them. They've stuck at it, haven't they? You know, Bristol can only blame themselves, and Bath, fair play, capitalising on a couple of bits of good defensive, plays.
It's made things very, very interesting now, hasn't it? Given the early dominance of the Bears, what have they got here? 12 points down. They've got Pietau for starters. Sheedy, Miles Reid's got straight onto him, and McNally very quick up onto that.
It's important that Bristol don't try and force things. They stick to their guns. 2 mistakes, and they find themselves 2 scores down.
Here's de Glanville. A little bit stuttering, dealt with by Hughes and Sinclair. Muir threads it forwards. Malins in the backfield. 3 men around him. Sheedy with the pick and go. Sinclair. Lure to it.
Fell off his feet at the end.
Thomas. Done competing hard over the ball.
Two's good, seven's in the way.
Yeah, it wasn't him actually that Luke.
That was a good one to give away.
Poke your nose through, take the gamble, just like Spencer has done there. And if you look at the pressure they're putting on Callum Sheedy, there's two players almost on every occasion trying to get out to them. So far, for all the glory that we've been given to Bristol, which has...
But I'm sure equally Bath will have seen the success that both Bordeaux and Exeter had.
9's 10.
Tom Dunn picks out Bayliss. And gets his hands on the ball again, just about.
Okay, the line is over, through the mark.
It's gone to the floor.
Dunn still poised.
Okay, so advantage, yeah. Advantage.
Broken away, but they've got a penalty advantage.
Nothing here, back we come. Number 4. Yeah, it's after.
Oh, what's your language, boy?
Relax.
Was that right?
No, yeah, you were fine. Number 4 was it? Number 4, after the line out was over, collapsed some
Little
more.
dink into the corner again, you feel, don't you? Bit of momentum there.
Was Atwood.
Options
Okay, everybody
fairly
hold the
simple,
10
and it's
again.
Stoop with a corner.
Remain 10.
Orlando Bailey trots back on. His HIA has been passed. Priestland off. So 10 minutes on the field. Interception try and then heading back to the stands for the time being as Bath look to work this position now.
Just careful to don't get that ball too close to Bath. Just transfer it. Stoop's coming back in there.
Knees.
He's got it, Stoke. He's been wrapped up in the tackle. Uren's trying to lie on top of it. And Atwood, in the meantime, has nicked it for Bristol. And Uren gives it a good old belt. Not working to plan at line-out time last week. Some of the throwing, some of the timing, some of the calling. It was a bit of a mishmash. And it's taken some breaking down this week. But so far, so good here this afternoon. It's out in front of Watson. It's picked up by de Glanville, but Morahan thought he had it for a minute.
It's interesting how you mentioned the line out. 3 times now they've gone to Bayliss at the front. Really simple calling, probably.
Set. Hold in front.
A moment thought that was going to be a reset. The whistle went to the mouth and then was removed again as Morahan makes an excellent tackle on de Glanville.
On the ball, lads.
Spencer burrowing for it, and the counter-rucking strong from the Bristol Bears. It's 1 and the penalty. Bath piling off their feet and committing hold.
To the chase and the speed that they hit that breakdown really put.
There's Brian Byrne. Picked out by Vui. Luatour's latched on round the side, and Byrne is digging in there to get his paws on it. Bayliss is slowing things up very effectively, I think. He's not changed his bind, but it is still Bristol ball. Uren. Siale Pietà, the dummy runner. Morahan struggling to keep a hold of it.
Back we come.
Yeah, I think the penalty goes as this one goes into the corner.
See the pressure opening quarter of the game.
Now the Bristol line-out has faltered, and it's bobbling around in front of Bailey in the in-goal.
Well, it's a reprieve for Bristol because they got their line-out all wrong there.
Set.
Morahan directly behind the scrum here.
Bristol.
And now racing across to move into position, but that delivery has found Morahan and rather surprised everybody, including the man himself. But it's been stolen here by Bath. Max Clark's got his hands on it.
Great tackle choice and selection. Goes high, strips the ball, dominates that collision.
Yeah, it's really good work.
Stay on side. Can't then 9.
It's Max Clark who comes up with it, but actually it's a double tackle. There's an opportunity really for Max Clark to strip.
Break your line, but it's how you react and recover. And so far, Bristol have done exactly that. None more.
Go back to that scrum chat, Carl Sinclair. You know, it's a big game for him, big game for.
Tom Dunn And Vui getting up to compete here against Bayliss, but once again Bayliss secures it. Falatau trying to free up those arms at all times. Schoeman driven well beyond the gain line. Great leg drive from Schoeman with McNally and Stook in behind him. Here's Spencer. Morahan. Tackle well by Bayliss. The ball is there for Muir. Muir throws the dummy.
Still advantage.
Bailey.
Only a knock on.
Stook.
Okay, advantage over for the knock.
Bailey. Over the head of Malin's finding touch.
Well, there's a lot to admire.
Really hungry for it, aren't they? Josh Bayliss leading the charge from the back row.
There's the gap.
Max Clark, we've seen invigorated defensively as well. And Bristol back inside their own 22.
Hold.
Vui for Uren and Hughes. Across comes Watson. Little look one way, darts back in the other direction, goes beyond halfway. Tackles made by Sinclair. Falatau. And de Glanville goes to ground.
Tackle off the ball there, Kitty.
Spencer,
just on the last one here.
Tackle off the ball, so we have an advantage as Muir stretches his legs.
By 12.
Okay, so a penalty advantage, tackle off the ball.
Correct.
Advantage for Bath. Schoeman done, slammed in the tackle. It's a big one from Atwood.
That's all good, but no advantage back here. Number 2.
The thing is, both teams won't check. It's been a very good opening half to what we're expecting to be a very exciting.
In the danger zone.
Hold.
Again to Bayliss. Spencer whips it out. And, Watson is waiting.
Here we go now.
Done. Tackled by Luatua. Spencer again. Bringing in Elliot Stook. Tries to lay it on a plate. See Ali Pietau went after that pretty hard. And a penalty advantage here to Bath. There's the penalty.
That's a great outcome for Bath. Right under the post as well.
Then he stole the ball.
Line out functioning well. Just got themselves that width. Bit of a danger that Stook was going to be isolated there. Let's have a look at this. Stook just gets turned the wrong way, doesn't he? So he's falling away from his support. Pietau in over the top. Did have an opportunity there.
I think that's a harsh penalty.
Looks tough.
Yeah, I think the penalties.
3 more points. So far they have dug in really effectively. And they're picking up these points. Spencer again.
Just about keeping that scoreboard ticking over. Wasn't necessarily.
Burn fends Vui, uncontested in the air. Pietau, Sheedy, Randrandra. Pietau, good tackle made by Muir, quickly to his feet to contest. Picked up by Earl, explosive work around the fringes. Sheedy, Hughes, it's a big shot coming in from McNally.
Yeah, it's a great shot that from McNally, right on the advantage line.
Uren, Sheedy, Pietau, 3 men driving him backwards. De Glanville. Miles Reed.
I don't know if you can hear him, but
Breakdown
Sinclair's energy, his comms, I mean, any questions as to how he might respond and how much he'd be up for today, you can certainly hear him.
Off the shoulder of Uren, messy one for Pietau to tidy. He's done exceptionally well. Bayliss again, first there for Bath.
Balls inside. Okay, Bristol, use it. Inside.
Really good defensive set there, wasn't it, from Bath? Number of eye-catching tackles that have forced Bristol back into their own 22.
And Uren clears it away, but
Varnish,
Can't
knock
sink
on
this
from Bristol.
patience, wearing thin at the tail of the line out. Here is Reed for Bath.
So Varnish over for the knock.
Spencer, Bailey. It's a little bit too long, and Malins has time. Malins will try to weave his way through. Byrne, lovely support line from Brian Byrne. Picked up by Randrandra. Onwards from Pietau to Hughes. One-handed pick up by Morahan. This is better from Bristol. Earl. Sheedy. Sinclair. He's dropped it. Redpath tries to hit the gas. Miles Reed is alongside him. Bath again, camped inside the 22. Opportunities beckoning. Stewart. Plenty of men to the right there.
Tackle!
Falatau.
Varnish.
Ball pops out of his possession, and Randrandra is onto it for Bristol.
What a shame that attack comes to an end with the knock
Okay,
on from
now use
Falatau.
it.
Again,
You're under
highlighting how
advantage.
difficult it is to hold on to the ball.
The majority of their good
Happy
attack
go.
has come from
Knock
their
on.
defence.
Scrum.
That was another really good opportunity of their line speed.
The Stardust that they bring back into their squad, but I was one, and I'm sure there's others that were looking at Bath's selection, wondering, what they were doing with this game. Why have we left some of your best players out? But actually, credit to Stuart Hooper, because the performance is actually
No problem.
In his place.
Fine. Set.
Scrum penalty goes Bristol's way.
Yeah, I mean, having a healthy chat with the referee gives you the right outcome.
That Lions squad came off the bench in every single test in 2017. Kyle Sinclair against the All Blacks.
Hold the 10.
Help draw the series.
That's through the mark.
Aaron Burns done well. Pietau holds it back for Sheedy. Malins, it's not the ungainly kick, but de Glanville's waiting in the backfield, and Watson's there, but so too is Morahan.
Thanks, mate.
He's done so well there, Anthony Watson, just to be able to ride that contact, stay on his feet, just to give his supporting team just a little bit of time. But of all the areas where I think Bath have been very good, we spoke about their line speed.
Once again, sorry, you got the counter up from Bristol, and they've won the penalty as a consequence. They went really hard at it.
Yeah, I mean, hit the tackle and then go straight.
Hold out here as we bear down on half-time. Atwood secures the line-out ball. And it's fed back to Ben Earl and Nathan Hughes. Hughes working his way through the middle here. Closing in and over. And Bristol have their first try of the match. It's taken them a lot longer than they would have liked, but they're now in the thick of it. And importantly, they've got that just before the break.
Yeah, it's a try.
Yes, all come from a mistake, isn't it? Bath were in possession, they turn over, get the...
Good, no doubt, but much more importantly, the context of this particular match. Any other score now will be psychologically very significant, you think. Here is the try scorer.
Okay, Bristol, use it.
Uren looking to go wide, but it's gone forwards. Little knock on, and Bath have been given a window.
Yeah, so
Falatau pops it up for Spencer. Bailey. Redpath did well to get that away. Still they move forward through to Glanville, inside the 22. Quick ball to work with here as well. Slowed up sufficiently, but the handling is crisp, and Judge moves forward. Caught behind the gain line this time by the Bristol defence. Schoeman again, dealt with by Atwood. Bailey. Judge, he's dropped the ball. Bristol will celebrate that defensive effort.
yeah, it's their turn to apply the heat. I thought Bath initially had a couple of good phases, but then
Uran looking for the penalty, he's got one. There might just be one last shot with the clock deep in the red.
Of course.
Sheedy will give this everything he's
you haven't
got.
got to be so aggressive with me, all right? Next one, I'll give you it, but we can talk to each other. Don't have to shout at me.
Sheedy. One last shot then for Bristol. A lot of movement in the line out. Atwood is the man sent up. It's a bit of a wobbler.
That's nowhere near straight.
Yeah.
Half time.
And that will be the end of this first period. A fascinating period. Bristol looking so strong out of the blocks, but a try from Max Malin's ruled out, and Bath hanging in will be very significant in their mindset. And they will have had a bit of a dressing down to some degree from Pat Lam, potentially. Certainly there will have been a little bit of tweaking of the game plan, you would expect, but Bath have
Thanks, Bristol. Time you run,
taken
Bath.
their opportunities, and they've been really hungry today, which has been so good to see, particularly after last week against Montpellier, where things did not go their way. This is Nathan Hughes for Bristol, just beginning to
go back to his feet.
Stretch through the gears. Atwood, another big dent in the midfield, Schoeman with the tackle.
Use it!
Luatua.
Well, few too many easy yards being made here by Bristol early on.
Yeah, they've stolen a good 25 metres or so, haven't they, from inside the 22. This is Sinclair, little tip on for Pietau. Sheedy with the ball having been taken back in, fired down the middle, where de Glanville waits. His first appearance in 7 weeks. Struggling with a leg injury to this point. Uran. Is that front touch? He's come off the outside edge of the boot. It's gone directly into touch.
9.
Decided to run it out. So what can Bath do from this position? McNally gets a finger on it. Byrne is chasing hard after it. Knocked on though by Byrne, and here's red path for Bath.
That's advantage over.
Spencer.
Really?
McNally.
Good 20 metres back from the line out.
Advantage over. Not too much advantage gained, that's for sure. They're well back behind the gain line now, and de Glanville tries to pop that on its way. Picked up by Bailey.
Nothing clear out. Didn't see anything, mate. Nothing clear.
Yeah, back on halfway now. And again, the counter-ruck from Bristol, proving pretty effective. And then the ball has been nicked. Bath going hard at it again themselves. Protected just enough. Hughes, Byrne, Sheedy, Pietau, Randrandra. Looking for support.
Okay, Bristol, use it!
Jan Thomas finding himself at first receiver and now finding himself at scrum half. Yeah, that's why. That's why he's got one on his back.
Tackle!
Effective ruck clearance though from Jan Thomas, and Sheedy, little dab over the top. Sally Pietau, Charles Pietau keeping a close eye on it, but threaded forwards by Clark. And a decent nudge.
Very decisive. So close. You could have matched,
wouldn't it? And in fact, the first game I think we're going to be doing with fans involves Bristol at Ashton Gate against Gloucester a week Monday. That's going to be fantastic. And of course, nice to have it in a stadium of that sort of size. We'll get around about 7,000 in, we hope, for that one.
a bit tidy game. Gloucester half decent today, weren't they?
Outstanding performance at the Gardens. This is Will Muir. Done. Tackle made by Ben Earl.
No, use it! He's going.
This one coming Pietau's way. Tries to evade the grasp of Bayliss, who's going in for a second tackle in around about 5 or 6 seconds. Here's Randrandra looking for the switch, and it's there. Vu.
This game's almost 5 minutes old this second half. I'm not sure what's happened there yet, has it?
Not just at the minute, but Malins is looking to make something happen. And the wide channels, it's Luatua and Morahan and Malins again. And here's Pietau, and they're at the 22. And Morahan is reaching forwards. He's broken one, he's broken two. He's now dropped the ball, I believe.
Oh, he looked like he knocked that on, didn't he?
Yeah, it did very much look like a knock-on. Sinclair, though, swings it on its way. Sheedy punches it into the in goal. Nathan Hughes will touch down, and we will use our television match official Rowan Kitt.
That's exactly what I was saying now. There's not a lot happening in
Just before knock on it, it's on the screen. I think Morahan just loses it forward here. Yeah, clear knock
There it is.
on.
Thanks, mate.
Everywhere back into their defensive positions, weren't they?
Almost scored a carbon copy try like that. But this is it when they're at their best, running flat to the line, taking on defenders. Just such a nice variation of passes, all within about 5 metre channel. For any kid at home, just have a look at the last 5. Next thing you know, you're under the sticks.
Big scrum under the pump here, 5 metres out, and Bristol are going hard at this scrum. And they've turned it into a dogfight, and it's Bristol's ball. Big moment.
Far side, lost shape. Bristol went.
Ball leaving nothing to chance, making sure he's got as dry a ball as possible. Finds his captain.
Stay back. Stay back.
Need to make this pay, Bristol.
Through the mark.
Being taken on here, Byrne dragged forwards by Hughes. He's just short. Reed is lying over the top of it.
I wonder whether Reed did enough there. Thought the referee might have penalised him, but he's on the wrong side. Then he rolls back the right side. And unfortunately,
nothing more. Held up.
Bristol can't get the ball down. So you've got to say, great work from Miles Reed. It's almost a carbon.
Coming up on the touchline, he would be the man to replace Johan Schoeman. Managing where he earns his big bucks.
Set.
And again, they've got a really good shunt on. Nathan Hughes striding forwards. Not required. Penalty try. And the Bears are back in business.
Number
I
one.
don't think there's any doubt about
Number
that.
one.
Sometimes referees will give a penalty and then maybe reset the scrum, but Luke Pearce has been building and building, and the rewards now are significant because that one is a penalty try, so it'll be the full 7, and we've got a serious game on our hands. And to add,
Nathan Hughes barrelling upfield. Pietau to Pietau, Randrandra. It's not a bad cast list, is it? Byrne, Sheedy, Pietau.
It's 5 on 10.
another penalty.
That's silly 5.
Another penalty.
Number 5, that's daft.
That's now
Shoulder off
9
the
against
ball on
Bath in this contest.
As I've been pronouncing his name wrong at half-time, apologies from that. He did it brilliantly.
In a few
Just wait
moments'
for the
time.
changes. Josh,
Ewells
step,
for
please.
Stoke, Priestland for Bailey.
Hold the 10, please.
To the tail, to Atwood. Lovely ball for Uren. Sheedy on the front foot. Here's Randrandra at full steam. Uren back the other direction. Luatua spiralling through the tackles. Got it away to Vui. Bears awaking from their slumber. Sinclair, tip on to Luatua, lovely offloading. Hughes is there, but so is Miles Reed, and Miles Reed's having none of it.
Outstanding.
Or Bayliss did brilliantly there because he had to bide his time. He could have easily been penalised for coming in at the side, but they've managed to turn the ball over after some wonderful double offloads from Luatua had put Bristol right in the box seat.
Be again, best part of a year out with nasty ACL injury to the knee. Sheedy, Randrandra, Bristol revving it up here at the Rec,
Roll away first, 22.
and now with an advantage. Byrne leaves that hanging for Uren. Sheedy, Pietau. Good tackle made by Muir, and Byrne is onto it again. Here's Earl. Piling on the pressure, Bristol. Charles Pietash slithers his way inside the 22. So many options. Sheedy using one of them, it's Leua. Sinclair was running that trail line, he was after it. This is Heenan. And Bayliss on top of him, taken quickly by Sheedy, called back.
Well, this is the beauty of the Bristol game. We've seen them with the offloading, we've seen them with the passing in the narrow 5-metre channel, but they have this to their game as well. They can be direct.
22 roll away first.
Semi Randrandra, that's twice in the space of 2 minutes where he's come on that hard, fast, direct.
To that list whereby he's a constant threat with or without the ball. He's unbelievable. Giving the ball out to win, trying to get on the outside of people is ridiculous what he does. But before he gets the ball, it's that Batty that's on now.
Be pre-engaged here.
Yeah, Josh Bayliss has had to make way.
Yeah, it's got to be big from Batty now.
So Bath, of course, still down a man.
Thumbs up from the England head coach. He'll be scouting for players for the summer operations. A couple of tests at Twickenham, we understand, between the USA and England, and Canada and England. In the meantime, Bristol profiting from scrum dominance, and Pietau striding forwards. Randrandra, Malins. High quality stuff from Bristol. Turned up the heat, got their rewards.
It's a fantastic 2 or 3 steps before he gives Malins enough time. Give it to him early. That's exactly what you want as a winger, and it allows him to negotiate the try scoring on his terms, sliding in, and it's an easy score.
Early dive as well from Max. He's bent that beautifully.
Feel for Bath now. Still got 3 minutes with 14 men, and Bristol are really turning the screw.
Let's bring in Pat Lamb. Pat, was there a talking to at half-time, or a readjustment of the way things were going?
Yeah, readjustment. We knew we gave them 15 points from our own errors and mistakes, and we knew that we had them quite a few times, and there's plenty of opportunity as long as we are able to get accurate and look after the ball. If we look after the ball, we can put them under a lot of pressure.
We're talking as well in the game in the first half, and particularly at half-time, about the line speed that was being applied, especially to Callum Sheedy. Have you made plans to sort of adjust and
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was one of the messages went down. So Callum, get a little bit closer to 9, get the ball and a little bit deeper, and he can run onto it. So we can clear the pressure. There's a lot of pressure there, which leaves they're putting a lot of pressure there, which puts a lot of space out wide. But we've just got to get to that wide spaces.
And also, Pat, we've seen, perhaps in an instance like that, we certainly saw it through the...
Look at that, 82% possession. At one point it was 75 and they were under the pump. Bath have got to get a grip of this game.
It's Batty.
Advantage.
Having a really hard time of it at scrum time. Randrandra this time being shut down early. Heenan straightening nicely for Bristol. Couldn't quite get that one away.
Hooker up.
The scrum dominance is
70.
becoming a problem for Bath.
Bristol the opportunity to dominate the field position and not let Bath off the hook. And that's the key. This
fresh legs change throughout the front row by the look of things. Wilmore, Kerr and Afoa coming on for Thomas, Byrne and Sinclair.
Just this one, lads. How many,
So the
please?
question is, can they maintain that dominance with the different characters?
Hold the 10. Hold 10,
Sinclair
Bristol.
will be well pleased with his work in the set piece, you would think.
Okay, 9 is
Here's
9.
Jake Kerr, who signed a short-term deal with Bristol, released by Leicester earlier in the season.
Through the mark.
But it's there for Falatau and Bath. Punch forwards. Back goes Sheedy. Flings it out for Randrandra. Counter-attack is on, potentially. Randrandra tying in those defenders. And enough white shirts gathering around. Malins.
Good option.
Space down the middle.
Great option.
Herring after it.
This might be too far, is it?
Just a handful of revolutions too many.
Let it go. Let it go. What's the matter with you? Plenty of time.
Priestland, has he sent that out on the...
They've opted for the scrum.
Okay,
Oh, it's a disaster. Well,
So new front rowers for Bristol. But it's very solid.
Okay, Bristol, go!
If not marching forwards in the same fashion. Pietau, Randrandra, not going to be a carbon copy this time around. Good tackle made by Watson. Heenan. Uren. Uren again, and close range combat for John Afoa.
That's fine, yeah, no problem.
They're offside, mate. They were
Advantage.
set up.
Still keeping this really tight, but they're playing with an advantage, the Bears. And they look calm
Advantage,
from this
Bristol.
sort of range. Atwood
Stay up,
and
Bristol.
Kerr, and Heenan latched on at the back as well.
3 illegal.
A lot of talking about that last week as they swing it wide, and through goes Pietau. And that is the bonus point try for the Bristol Bears. A lot of battering close to the try line, and then the rapier.
he was angry, wasn't he, Charles Pietau, with that run? But as you say, some really good hard yards. Randrandra, he's been outstanding with all sorts of different touches. The forwards doing their job, and then once the defence is just brought in really, really narrow, there's always going to be space. He did that without the step, Pietau, and a little bit of afters there with Will Muir.
Of today, but nice to get it tucked away with a handful of rounds remaining. Sheedy converts.
From Exeter at the breakdown, and actually how physical and aggressive Bath were in the first half, but they're able to adjust, is the word which Pat Lamb used, and they found a way. They're finding a way at least. Game's still not over.
Randrandra again. Earl. So impressive through contact, Ben Earl. Priceless meters beyond the tackle.
Hold in front!
Priestland
Hold!
asking the question of Uren.
Bristol!
Cross comes to Glanville.
Oh, he's taken that back in.
Has he? He has.
Still live. No, it was inside. He was inside.
I know he was in.
Absolutely minced at the minute, and they've got more coming their way.
Heenan. Another good tackle made by Miles Reid. Kerr, Sheedy, Malins. Always seems to be a man where you need him. This is Lloyd, who's fresh on the field. He'll look at this broken field in front of him. And they're working that channel again. Luatua for Morahan. The ball falls then for Chudley and Dunn. A little bit of time, ball in hand, wouldn't do Bath any harm at this point. Reid. Right scrap for possession on the ground.
Yeah, he wasn't released, and then there's a bit of back chat. I think that came from the last line out as well. He was had enough. Luke Pearce had been told what decisions to make.
After this round, of course, and Bristol Bears through the mark necessary.
9, stay 10. Hold! Over.
Bayliss with line out ball. Reid for Chudley. Redpath. Chudley again. Priestland looking to find Watson. And Johan Lloyd, caught out, but brilliantly worked by Anthony Watson. That's his second of the afternoon, and he's given Bath a fighting chance.
Yeah, it's a lovely work, taken try. You didn't think the numbers were in Bath's favour there, but it's one, the quality of the kick, and two, Johan Lloyd gets himself in the wrong position. He's got his back to the ball and his back to Anthony Watson, and then a man of that quality. Look at that great leap in the air, but Johan Lloyd's never got himself in the right position to make a claim for that, and Watson steals over.
Top of Johan Lloyd. Makes it tight now.
Just to get back within a converted try, and it's just fractionally won. It was a situation that lingered for a long time, so good to see him at absolute peak performance.
It's the worst injury I think he could have as a fast twitch player. Not just recovering once from surgery, but twice. Getting to a World Cup, playing brilliantly well. The Six Nations, and his form's just continued with Bath. I think he's one of the world's best in his position, that's for sure.
Yeah, hard to disagree with that. Sheedy for Randrandra. Uren, he's away. Andy Uren needs a little bit of support, or maybe he doesn't. He's weaving his way past endless defenders. Arfoa sends it on its way, and Sheedy has the pathway blocked. Here's Leua. Tough defensive shift this one for Bath, having just worked their way back into contention. Malins held on the 22.
Luke, got foul play by Bath 2. Keep playing for now.
On the 10 metre, mate?
That's the voice of Rowan Kett, the TMO, who's through something untoward from Tom Dunn. In the meantime, Randrandra.
Just line it up, mate, and we'll address it when we need to.
Atwood.
Yeah, ball's out. Still advantage.
Vui clings onto it. Jake riding side saddle, and the options again still there at close range. Arfoa. Uren.
Still your advantage, 9.
Sheedy dabs it forwards.
Back we
I
can.
think Tom Dunn's found it could be in a lot of trouble here. It's shoulder to head. Just going back for the late tackle. They're going to have a really good look. He's not closed his arm to make a tackle there. He's just gone bang straight in with the shoulder.
Well, it's tucked, isn't it? There's no wrapping.
I
Say the
do
first
agree
one here. This is the best one.
Can we chat after
I
this
do
one, please?
sympathise. It's a multi-dimensional, such a fast, fluid game. I don't know.
So clearly, number 2 is at fault. He's got no arm effort. He's hit him with the shoulder to the head.
Agree.
It's highly reckless. There's no mitigating factor. That's a red card.
Agree.
Hooker, number 2.
He knows, doesn't
And that is the end of Tom Dunn's season,
No,
you
mate,
would think.
you can't tackle like that. That's highly reckless. That's a red card.
Shown a red card a couple of weeks ago against London
Bristol,
Irish.
2 advantages back on
And
the 10.
now a second
Or
red,
7
which
off the board
almost
here.
certainly has done for
Well, yes, give
Bath's
us a bit more
challenge,
time, so you know what you
unless
want
they
to do.
can come up with something special.
See,
seven.
but if you're a front row player, if you're an elite athlete, the thought of just conceding
Okay,
in
so
some
number 7's coming off for the new
situations
hooker, is he?
when they're instinctive moments just aren't natural.
Yeah, 6. So 7's off for the red, and then you're off for a substitute.
However, he's off the field. Bath down to 14 for the remainder of the contest, and a couple of changes with Bayliss and Reid coming off. They have been exceptional. Tom Ellis is on to make his 100th first-team appearance. Came all the way through the
Fine.
Bath Academy.
Set.
So he's into the back row, and Jacques Dutoit on at hooker.
Okay, Bristol. Use it.
Heenan for Uren. Strong line speed from Chudley and friends. Heenan though onto the ball. Big fend. Got it away nicely. And Sheedy having to wrestle that away from the Bath grasp.
There's a clear penalty there for not releasing Sheedy. Couldn't play the ball. Heenan making amends with the run after being a bit slow at the base of the scrum. Put his scrum half in a bit of bother there.
Do you know we're seeing quite a lot of yellow and red cards this season? In the same way, if they are consistently the same offence,
In 5,
something
line is
to be
over.
discussed potentially
Inside
on
5.
Rugby Tonight tomorrow.
Bristol moving inexorably forwards. Ben Earl has it. Bristol have this game wrapped up now. Earl is through. It's try number 5, and Pat Lamb
In superior, they've scored from line out. They've built pressure.
a lot from, because they've had to problem solve, haven't they?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think once you get to this stage of season, you actually don't want easy challenges, because they're only going to get tougher. Semi-finals, finals.
Minutes remaining. Bristol firmly on track, and now certain of their playoff place. Now Ben Earl and Max Malins would love to produce something
18 in front.
in these final weeks of the season as they finish their time with Bristol before heading back to just off the fingertip. Is significant at this point. It's very blustery out there and the rain has begun to intensify a little bit.
Here's receiver. 8's receiver.
Here's Jacques
9,
Dutoit,
stay back 10.
former Cheetahs man.
Varnish, knock on.
And tip on from John Arfo. I'm not sure that was quite the moment for it. Jake Kerr drops on it. And Castle, who's replaced Uren at scrum half, sends it upfield.
It's just sums up Bath's day, really, when they get there.
Dutoit pops out for Chudley and Priestland, and Redpath takes the contact. Bristol spread defensively. Clark, who did so much to put Bristol on the back foot in those early defensive exchanges.
Relax, relax.
Remarkable, even more so, that no fly-offs have not missed a kick.
From the Lions squad
receiver, please?
is always a sign of a player, and I thought he's answered all those questions. I thought he's been really, really excellent. Plenty of energy, and he's our Gallagher Premiership man of the match, Carl Sinclair.
Chudley using the short ball for Redpath. Trying to finish
Got a tackle off the ball.
with some energy. Here's Priestlands skating forwards to Glanville. Another tackle off the ball has been spotted by the TMO. Ewells gets it away. Playing with an advantage here. Judge. Dumped by Itwood.
Still advantage.
Foul it out. Sent backwards, so the blast of the Pierce whistle.
It's just a tackle off the ball on
Let me get there first.
Max Clark, isn't it?
Tackle off the ball on number 13.
Let's have a look at this.
Lads, make sure he has the ball.
Tom Dunn not helpful in any way to a side that struggled a little bit with.
Will have done enough to hold it.
Watson.
Thanks, mate.
Judge. Foul it out. It's been dislodged.
Backwards from Bath, 21.
Through the legs, popped up, and Johan Lloyd is thinking something might be on here. He might be right as well. The footwork is wicked. Uren fires it forwards. Lloyd,
That's just too far.
pumping those legs as fast as he can go. And into the in-goal area slides Tom de Glanville, but you've got to love the way this Bristol attack. I don't remember his old man moving that fast. Might be wrong. Apologies, Phil, if you're watching. Sure you were lightning quick. Here's Morahan for Bristol as we're into the final minute. Leua, Malins, Randrandra, Earl, Uren waiting. Across comes the cover. Randrandra will not quite manage to stay in field.
Touch. Let's play. That's right. Everyone stop. Reset the gap. Hooker, are you ready? Play. He's receiver here, lads.
Jake Kerr. One more bit of line-out possession, and the day will be broadly complete. Leua, Randrandra, he's not finished yet. Malins carving forwards and leaving everybody in his wake. What a finish from Max Malins. Using the conditions, sliding into the shallow end.
It's brilliant. It slides in from about 10 or 15 yards, slightly uses his feet, but he almost accelerates off that handoff.
From a very high quality player. And yet again, another illustration of the Bears' hunger. Clock in the red, still got to chase the points. Johan Lloyd looking to land one final blow for the Bristol Bears. It sails wide, but the playoffs are go for Bristol. From 15 points down here, they've dug it out. A blistering second half, full of energy, full of purpose. 6 tries on a wet, blustery afternoon at the Rec. It's their biggest here at the Rec in the Premiership. Full time, Bath 20, Bristol 40.
Yeah, and it was that second half performance that did for Bath. 33-5 in the second half. They were utterly dominant. 6 tries in total, 5 of them coming in that second half. 2 for Malins. Their set piece with Carl